What's up, guys? So in today's video I'm going to be comparing and contrasting the Eva-8 with the Peacekeeper. Alright, first, the Eva-8 pros is that it's a full auto shotgun and it can do up to 63 body damage, 54 leg damage, and 90 damage with no helmet. It holds 8 shots in the magazine and can only have 2 attachments to it, which are the shotgun bolt and a 1-time or 2-times optic. And one advantage that I think it has over the Peacekeeper is that it's a bit easier to handle or to use. It has a shorter downtime in between shots, unlike the Peacekeeper without a bolt attachment. And so with good tracking and all the pellets connecting on your opponent, you can take them down in 2 to 3 shots if you connect your shots correctly using the Eva-8. But obviously with the Eva-8 and Peacekeeper, there's a good chance you'll miss some pellets, especially if you're very far away from the opponent. So it's best to use the shotgun, the Eva-8, at close range. But you can finish an opponent that's some yards away if they're low on health and only need 1 shot. You hear he's 1 shot a lot in Apex, and you hear that a lot, and then a lot of times, they're not 1 shot. They need at least a few more shots than 1. And so now, with the purple bolt attached to it, or the level 2 bolt, or the blue bolt I should say, the weapon becomes increasing the fire rate of the Eva-8. And with a purple or gold bolt attached to it, it can be very useful from beginning to end game, and it can be even more deadlier and strategic if you have the digital threat attached to it, because with the digital threat you can see through smoke, and that includes caustic gas smoke. And the cons of it is that, like any shotgun, especially in a current battle royales that are out there right now, the spread pattern or damage can be inconsistent. 1 shot you can do 63 damage with the Eva-8, and then next shot you're doing 7 damage. That's one thing you have to be aware of when using these shotguns or using the Eva-8. Also, you can't extend the magazine, but if you're new to Apex, it's easier to handle and use. In my opinion, you have 8 shots in a magazine with the Eva-8, so that's my preference, where the Eva-8 is much easier to start off with, but you can definitely use the Peacekeeper. So now to transition to that, now with the Peacekeeper, the pros start with that it can deal much higher damage than the Eva-8, and it can do up to 110 body damage, 88 leg damage, 165 head damage. So it's a high risk, high reward shotgun. But if you can land your shot and have all the pellets connect on an opponent, especially with the headshot, then you can one hit or quitter them with no shield, or down them if they have no shield, no helmet. You pretty much eliminate them or down them with 1 shot or 2 shots. It holds 6 shots per clip, and you can't extend it just like the Eva-8. But as I previously mentioned, with 2 to 3 shots, you can take down an opponent if your pellets are connecting against the opponent's body. And like the Eva-8, it can take a 1-time, 2-time scope max, but which is highly recommended to increase its fire rate with you getting the shotgun bolt with the Peacekeeper. So it's highly recommended to get the shotgun bolt, or to get a shotgun bolt, to increase the fire rate of the Peacekeeper. So now with the Peacekeeper, it needs the persistent choke attachment to tighten the spread of the bullets. And so how you use the choke, you have to ADS, or aim down sight, when using the choke hop up attached to it. One way of using the choke is that you can or one con of using the choke is that you can hear it close by, or your opponent can hear it close by if you have it aimed down sight, and they can hear it especially if it's silent and there's no gunfights or gunfire going on around you. So just make sure you're aware that when using the Peacekeeper, that if you're having the choke attachment to it and you're aiming down sight and you're holding it and you're waiting for an opponent to come, that they can hear it around the corner, unless you're in the middle of a gunfight or there's a lot of noise going on around you. So just make sure you're aware of that. So as I mentioned, it's a high risk, high reward weapon. I would say it's one of the most effective weapons when you're trying to take on a full squad by yourself, especially if you're in a 1v2 or a 1v3 situation. And you can read more about that or watch more about that in my previous video about how to win 1v3 gunfights. So especially if you're outnumbered. So if you're outnumbered, the Peacekeeper definitely comes in handy, because again, you can take down opponents in either 2 to 3 shots if you're connecting your pellets and you're pretty close to the opponent. So now, but between the Eva-8 and Peacekeeper, so they both have their pros and cons, but me personally, I like the Eva-8 slightly better because it's a bit more easier to handle, especially if you're still learning Apex. But the Peacekeeper can be mastered if you spend enough time with it, and it's very helpful, like I said, from beginning to mid to end game. And but one thing, as I mentioned with the Eva-8 and also Peacekeeper, is that the shots can be inconsistent. Like I said, one shot you can do 8 damage with the Peacekeeper, and then the next shot you're doing 4 damage, 5 damage. Alright, so both shotguns are best at short range and can be used along the short range scenario. So like 20 to 25 yards, you can use the Peacekeeper to down an opponent, but find which one suits you the best. And I would say, still be versatile and use both shotguns in any situation. But in my opinion, I like the Eva-8 slightly better than the Peacekeeper, just because I find it more reliable and just a solid bit more consistent. But definitely you only need 2 attachments with it, and that's a shotgun bolt and that's a scope if you want to put a scope on it, especially before using the digital threat. But that's just my personal preference. But you can try it out and see which one you like, and then go from there. So guys, so make sure you comment down below what you think about the Eva-8 and Peacekeeper. Which one do you prefer? And so also comment down below what you guys want to see next. And also, if you like the content, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.